Welcome to 30-Second Chances, where we ask deep, contemplative questions and provide far too little time to formulate thoughtful, reflective answers. My guest today is veteran mastering engineer Pete Doell. Pete, how you doing?
I think I'm good. And you?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. Okay, you know the drill, 30 seconds on the clock and then on to the next question. Are you ready?
As ready as I'm going to be.
Very good. Question number 1. How would you describe your job to a 5-year-old?
I make stuff sound hopefully better and uniformly groovy on anything you want to listen to music on. That's kind of, the target. And knock on particle board, we hit the mark some or most all of the time.
Do 5-year-olds know the word groovy?
It comes with the territory. I think 5-year-olds only have to forget the term groovy. It's like standard equipment. It's original equipment, the groove.
Next question. With many of the traditional jobs in our industry sidelined for the foreseeable future, how can people working in our industry turn this crisis into new opportunities?
Well, the technology gives us a chance to do things that were really difficult, if not impossible, before. Like, for example, I'm personally part of the recording and production track for the upcoming Audio Engineering Society convention. And because people don't have to fly to New York and put themselves up at a hotel and all this, you can get really interesting combinations of people because all you have to do is like we're doing today, get on a Zoom thing and the miles melt away and you get opportunities to have pairings of people you probably wouldn't have had a chance to get.
Next question. What's the worst mistake you've ever made in a professional setting? You can only choose one.
Okay, so many years ago, when I was a recording engineer, I got to record the Miles Davis 2-2 album, okay? So Prince supplied a track. A lot of people supplied a track. So it's like this 9-minute thing with horns and everything. It sounded like James Brown. So what did Miles here to do? Put a 2-minute piano introduction on this epic thing, right? No, I'm working without a net. I don't have an assistant. So make a long story short, I forgot to disarm the record on the piano tracks I had just recorded when I went to do the next thing. And I erased part of the piano that Mr. Miles had done.
Oops. Next question. What's the most challenging studio project you've ever worked on and the one you're most proud of? Maybe they're the same, maybe they're not, but you got 30 seconds to tell me about both.
Probably the most challenging was just physical endurance. I got to work on the David Lee Roth Skyscraper record, Steve Vai producing. This is 1986 or something. And Steve being a protege of Zappa, his idea is 30 hours on, 3 hours off, rinse and repeat. I worked 120 hours a week for months. Didn't know my own name. But the record I'm most proud of is the Miles Davis 2-2 record. I had a great mistake there too. I made a whole bunch of music on Miles' cassette that night, and I worked with him for a couple of weeks instead of one day. That's a nice mistake.
With greatly reduced piano intro. Next question. What would 15-year-old you be most and least impressed with about you now?
Most impressed is that I made my career about music and audio because while I always loved the idea, I never thought I could pull it off. And the thing he's probably not that thrilled about is that I'm not rich and shameless. Well, 1 out of 2. I am shameless, but I'm not rich quite yet.
How could one be in this industry and not be shameless?
True that.
And right on time. Next question. How has the growth of immersive audio impacted your work?
Well, my room is just a stereo room, but I think you're going to find that more and more people are going to be soaking in the immersive audio experience from, here on forward. It's not going to go away unless people ruin it. I understand that EMI is trying to put out hundreds of titles in immersive audio, but the mixers are given okay, you got 4 hours, and then that's it. So
Piece of cake.
if you're trying to make a good first impression with a new format, you got to be putting out a good product.
Yep. Next question. If you could have one weird and or semi-useless superpower, what would it be and why?
X-ray hearing, so that I could see what people are thinking about their sound, because they obviously didn't achieve it. But
I think that has more to do with psychology than actually hearing.
well, that would be a superpower, though. You got to admit.
It's true, and it would actually come in pretty handy, and especially in any kind of a creative environment like a studio work. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in their mind, they can hear what they want it to sound like, but they can't articulate it. Yep. That's why that skill would be great.
Okay, that concludes our questions from me, but I'm going to put 30 seconds more on the clock, and I'm going to allow you to either answer for me any question you wish I had asked you, or just shamelessly plug something you're working on, or ask me a question, or do whatever you want. It's 30 seconds. It's all yours. Go.
Well, if you ask me something important, I mean, this is an amazing time we find ourselves in right now. The election this November will define our country for many years to come. And why our country doesn't have mandatory voting, that election day isn't a national holiday, and that everyone can access mail-in voting so they can vote safely and with confidence. I don't get it. Doesn't seem that hard to accommodate, and it certainly can't be you can't place any more importance on an amazing time.
I'm right there with you.
Oh,
yeah. All right. Well, that concludes our game. Thank you very much for being our guest, and it's been a pleasure.
Mine too.